Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Jake Reads Your Comments number...
Monochromatic Hugo. You're always so you're very gray. Seriously. Yeah, it's the same. Bob Ross over here makes me stand out, and you just blend right in like a little, I'll help you out. Like I don't know, like camo. It's like not trashy camo. If the whole world wore couches, you would be the sneakiest guy in the whole thing.
And on that note, let's read the first comment. This is from our Discord, link in the description. Cordite says, Dear Hugo and Jake, do you think as Christianity becomes less prevalent in the West, we will see the rise of violent Christian extremists?
This is a good question, because with most, I'd say, fervent beliefs, or whether political or religious or otherwise, the people that hold on to it last are usually the ones that would do that. I do think there will be Christian religious extreme. I mean, there are right now, but I mean, I think that if there ever is a last gasp of Western Christianity in our lifetimes, it's going to be a violent one, almost. I mean, that's just how people work. Because we're very tribal, and we feel like just think about the white genocide people. They're like, if that was really a thing that they could do, and then it got overthrown. Think about how violent that would be. It would get very violent. It's the same shit. You know what I mean?
I just think things like religion get eaten away from the center out. Eaten away from the center out, and then you only have the super not religious and the super religious left, because, you get the moderates first and then it builds. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to end on extremists and a lot of people shooting up abortion clinics and stupid stuff.
Yeah, but I can't imagine it's going to be anything like radical Islam, just because of the tenets involved with Islam.
Yeah.
And so I think with Christianity, you're going to see like the abortion clinics. You're going to see a lot of the they're going to be very far right, I assume, in almost every aspect. So you're going to see probably people, interracial marriage, fucking up Portland. I don't know, like anywhere with liberal ideal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to riot in Portland. What I think is like Portland, we'll see, or like LA, or New York City, places that are like, oh, they vote blue.
If they take out Portland,
if they just take it out,
we will have a severe lack of hipsters in the United States. We will have a hipster shortage.
No, you know what will happen? We'll have a jackfruit surplus. Jackfruit and soybeans for everybody.
All right.
The prices will plummet. Actually, look high, right? Wait.
No, the prices will go low.
They'll plummet. Yeah, that's good.
Then buy...
Dude, we're going to have so much jackfruit.
Don't buy into jackfruit futures.
Yeah.
Sell short now. Iron Gullet. Dear Hugo and Jake, any ideas why some groups are so against the idea of climate change? Do you think it's only because of political loyalty or something deeper?
This is a good question. This has many answers. Some of it is political ideology because they're Team Red. And if you're Team Red, you can't be for it. Just like if you're Team very far blue, you gotta be anti-vax, right? That's just like a thing. It's the same shit. It's anti-science depending on the team you vote for.
Sure.
Or, I guess, green is probably more likely to be anti-vax, right?
Yeah.
Green Party. But, so yeah, it's some of that. Some people it's religious, so they think that, like, God wouldn't do that sort of thing. And some people, and it's probably more often than not, they don't want to believe we're fucked. It's kind of like there's a phenomenon that happens with conspiracy theories in general. Did we talk about that later? Did I grab that question? I don't know. Like the JFK thing. It makes us feel really vulnerable if the president of the United States can be shot by a single person. But if it's a conspiracy, we're fine. It's different, right? So if it's chemtrails, or if it's the government, or if it's just the way it was always supposed to be, we have nothing to do with it, we're not as vulnerable. So it's really usually that kind of thing.
Yeah. On top of that, the oil industries, the fossil fuel industries have been lobbying. On the right, they've been basically writing the playbook on messaging as far as climate change is concerned in the right. Not to mention the studies that they put out by some of the same groups that were doing fucking studies for the cigarette companies back in the 50s and 60s when they were trying to say cigarettes weren't bad for you. It's the same thing, and it's fucking ridiculous. This is why science literacy in school is so important to teach children.
Yeah. And granted, it took a long time, but the cigarettes are very, very not as ubiquitous as they once were, and I think we'll probably get to the point where climate change is a thing that we all agree on, kind of like how we all agree that, most of us agree, the age of the Earth and some science stuff really is prevalent, but like old Earth creationists are not, or young Earth creationists are not as prevalent as we may make it come across because we deal with that more frequently than most other people, but yeah.
I think a lot of this progress is going to happen as people die out.
A certain generation of people, our parents have to die.
I don't even think our parents necessarily. I think their parents are
their parents.
Big fucking problem.
Their parents, and then so our parents went through like the Summer of Love and stuff like that. So they're a little bit better. Like I think a lot of people that are our parents' age, not including our fathers, for some reason we both have debt. We're strippers. A lot of them are pretty chill about like gay marriage, and they're pretty calm about it for the most part. But the extreme ones in that category are still like the people that are currently in Senate and stuff like that. So, I think by the time we're in charge, like we're 35-ish roughly. When you're about 35, I think was really when we start to see
when the Mitch McConnells are dead.
Do you think they'll have like a turtle headstone for his grave, or
no.
how does that? How do they do? You just put turtles back in the sea when they die?
I just hope in a history book somewhere 100 years from now there is legitimately just a paragraph about the least productive Congress in history, the most obstructionist Congress in history, and Mitch McConnell's part in it.
Yeah, and then behind that is a glass case with Mitch McConnell's empty shell. He's a turtle.
Dater, also from the Discord. Will you guys read through the Apocrypha?
Dater is a YouTuber. Here's a brief glimpse.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dater Lucum.
That was very brief. Yeah, I think so. I think at one point, we're obviously doing the New Testament. We also have the Book of Mormon up there. But I think probably a run through the Apocrypha. I mean, we've done Lilith, an overview of Lilith. It wasn't actually word for word Lilith, but it was like, here's the story. So yeah, I think that'd be fun, and plus they're fucking weird a lot of the time. So
I want to get some of those. I want to talk about some of those Jesus stories that weren't decided to be canon, especially from his youth, because they're very interesting.
When he interacts with other children, it gets fucking weird.
Yeah, especially because it gives sort of a glimpse into different writers' conception about what Jesus was as a child, what Jesus was as an adult, and why certain things didn't mesh when they were trying to all bring it all together into one book, into the Bible we know today.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this makes the case for Christ look even worse, because once you get into the other stuff that's written, it's like, why'd you omit that? Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think we definitely will.
Tor T2, Dear Hugo and Jake, if you were stuck in a room, who would you be stuck with?
I assume this means like for a prolonged period of time, not just like 24 hours, because we could sit in the same room for 24 hours. But like 3 weeks, we're at each other's throats. I don't want to do that. We're both too individual to have to share that much space all the time. I don't know. If it's like you gotta spend a year in a room with someone, I'm picking just someone I can physically manhandle, because it will eventually come to blows.
I'm going to say Jeanette McCurdy, because...
Oh, yeah.
Because, and this is not creepy, because if she fucking hates me, I'll leave her the fuck alone for the year, however long we're in there. However, I once had a dream that was so real.
Did you dream you guys dated?
I had a dream once. You ever have dreams like this, where I had a whole relationship with Jeanette McCurdy?
From start to finish?
And it was like a really nice relationship. It didn't even get like sexual in the dream. It was just we were a couple.
Yeah, just a nice
and it was
Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah.
She's good looking. She dated this person. That's Andre Drummond. Oh. He's humongous, and so she's just been ripped to shreds.
Yeah, hot dog down a hallway.
You cannot. I mean, none of us can compete with that. I mean,
and
by the way, he's younger than you.
I'll take fucking half the blame here. I'm dealing with like not a kielbasa. Like
like a normal dick. Yeah, I mean, that's a white guy suburb dick. It's pretty, yeah. I'm with you. I mean, it's not.
I feel like I made this way more sexual than I wanted it to be. I just wanted to hang out with Jeanette McCurdy to know if we actually get along.
Okay, I guess if we're going that route, I will pick. Yeah, I don't want to fuck someone in a room we're locked in constantly.
I'm not trying to.
I know, but I'm going to go the opposite direction, and this is not gay. I think Ryan Reynolds is just a delight to hang out with.
That's probably true. Hugh Jackman, also a good
Hugh
solid.
Jackman's just a nice dude.
Yeah.
And if something like breaks, like maybe the AC goes out, I feel like Hugh Jackman knows how to fix it.
And he'll sing while he's doing it.
Yeah, but it'll be like nice. It won't be like too much. It won't be an earworm either. It'll be something maybe he makes up. Yeah, so something like that. Maybe, who else is nice? Ellen DeGeneres. What a delightful person. She is
so nice.
She is so... I will be stuck in a room with Ellen DeGeneres.
I feel like if I was stuck in a room with Ellen DeGeneres
Do we get like a private bathroom, though? I don't want to hear Ellen DeGeneres shit, because it ruins my image of her perfection.
We can assume private bathroom.
Okay.
If I were locked in a room with Ellen DeGeneres...
Do you think you'd come out more pure than you were?
I'd come out... Yeah. I would be filtered. I would be so much less cynical.
It'd be like a those patches that take all your toxins from the pads of your feet that aren't real. But it'd be like that, but real. It just suck all the impurities out of you, and you just come out like Cherub Hugo or Cherub Jake.
I'd always be just a moment away from inspiration, away from just breaking out into dance.
Dude, for no reason. I want to be that happy, and I think maybe being stuck in a room with Ellen DeGeneres for a year is the way to do that. That's the key to happiness, guys. There's only one of her, so me first.
Flavier!
With the trunks.
Yeah. Perhaps this belongs more under tabletop, but it is a question, so I'll ask it here. That is correct. If it's a question, it always goes in Ask Hugo Jake. So, Hugo Jake, given that D&D and other RPGs are meant to be games where you simulate living a different life, how can you best handle the more awkward moments that can happen in real life? Like if a player wants to go have sex with someone, or there are some assholes trying to rape someone. How do you incorporate these things without making it awkward or uncomfortable for the players? I know what you're going to say to one of them.
Yep.
Because if I was a DM, I assume we have the same opinion. Yeah. How detailed should you get? If only one player is engaged in something that makes the other players feel awkward, should you try to stop that or let it continue? You have made it clear that more mature themes would be tackled.
This is a question I get a lot as because I do a DM thing on Unpop. Okay, so the first... I'm trying not to be a cunt, but as a DM, don't fucking allow rape. Just don't do that. That's lame. Like, you don't know what anyone in your group has been through... And beyond that, it's just creepy. It's just weird. It's creepy and weird, and
it's very the first episode of season 4 of Black Mirror. It's very you're that guy if you're wanting that.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
I get tabletop role playing as a game where you
play alone if you want to explore. There's porn for that shit, man. Go get after it. You know, go get it out before you come to the table. And well, not right away, like, you know, wash your hands at least. And then, you know, do something. As a DM, it's not about adding gritty realism. It's about having fun and everybody having fun. Now, if two players wanted to engage in a relationship, that's fine. That's a thing that can happen. Or a player and an NPC, whatever. Implied sex is fine with me. Like, for instance, you wake up in the same bed, and maybe one of you're not wearing clothes, and you don't have to talk about how you fucked, but, like, one of the other characters barges in, like Kramer, and goes, "Hey, guys, let's go do an adventure!" And you're like, okay. That's funny. See, that's funny. It's fun, and it's lighthearted, and we're all adults. It's mature, but it's not like... It's PG-13 at best. And again, PG-13 is where D&D should lie as far as sex is concerned. Everything else can be rated R because you swear a lot and whatever. That's fine.
I think you could even... If I was a DM, I would... For sense of, like, it's funny.
Yeah.
Not describe, but roll for how well did you do?
Sure.
Like, you rolled a natural 1, haha.
It was your masterpiece, like natural 20.
Sure.
Like, it was just and that's fine, but you can in your head canon have it however you want, but I also don't like the player that's always like, I'm gonna go get a prostitute. I don't play with any of those people. I mean, none of us at the table are like that, but I have played in the past with someone who I think would do that had we played more, and I don't think our DM would have been like, yeah, no. Also, in that situation, I would always roll for an STD and have it affect their character negatively. So every time, like, oh, now you have disadvantage on attack rolls because you're too busy itching. You know what I mean? So
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, so they'd be much worse.
Yeah.
For doing a thing that everybody at the table thinks is creepy. So yeah, so this is how you deal with it. As far as like I understand. There's part of me that understands why you're asking this, because you want to make sure that everybody gets to roleplay the fantasy they want to roleplay, right? It stops around there. There's a line. It doesn't have to be that. Like, you can't, like, I don't know, in Skyrim, you can't kill kids without mods, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same shit. Just there's a line, and wherever that line is where. Now, maybe NPCs attempting rape? Or attempting to rough up a woman, you know what I mean?
Specifically, I know for, like...
But just not with graphic like, it can't be in...
For instance, in our game that we've played, there have been characters that have been identified as potential rapists.
Yeah.
But at no point, like, was the rape seen or described. It's just he's a rapist.
Yeah.
He's a known rapist. And he got shot in the back of the head almost immediately.
Yeah. Yep. So...
Also... I mean, unless you're playing, like, a group of all evil characters, the minute your character starts to try and rape another character, I would assume you're gonna get fucking brained by the rest of your party.
Oh, yeah. And they should. Like, there's no scenario in which I would allow a player character to engage successfully in rape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's always be someone around in that scenario. Anyway, just don't. That's not fucking cool, dude. Just not fucking cool.
Alexander Tigerstone.
That's too adorable.
Dear Hugo and Jake, do you believe that skepticism can cause paranoia, or can paranoia lead into skepticism?
A little bit of both, but I think you're probably prone to paranoia if you experience it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm very skeptical and I don't experience that, and I think you do a little bit more because of your anxiety, but you have an actual anxiety, right?
Yeah.
So... I mean, it's not like you sit behind your windows with your blinds drawn and you sit in a chair and rock back and forth all night. But, I mean, do you think one lends to the other? Because you deal with that more than I do. I think you'd be that even if you were religious and not skeptical.
Maybe, I think skepticism can exacerbate paranoid tendencies if you already have them. Because you know the tools and ways to actually look at things, and you are aware of how many things people don't pay attention to.
And usually the realistic implications of that, which can sometimes, like we talked earlier, that can be a lot for people to deal with, so that's why you need conspiracy theories and shit, so...
Right.
Or ways to cope otherwise.
But I think if you are a skeptic and use the tools available to you, your mental faculties, and do inspect the thing that you are being paranoid about, assuming there's nothing there to be afraid of, and you really use your skeptic tools to your advantage, your thinking abilities and ways to think about different problems, you'll probably be able to decide, okay, that's not a thing I should worry about.
The math should add up to it's safe.
Now, there are situations, people who get, like, how do you put this? Like, paranoid delusional states. This can be...
that's different.
That's different, especially for someone who's a skeptic. Someone who... solipsism is a thing that people get, where they think the world isn't real except for them, or something.
Solipsism could lead to almost simulated sociopathy, I think.
Sure. So, if someone who's a skeptic starts to think, okay, solipsism, how do I prove solipsism wrong? It's kind of... It's a thing you can't necessarily prove wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a brain in a jar thing. So that kind of thing I could see if you're kind of obsessive compulsive and you get attached to thoughts. Sure. You could start running away with that, but hopefully it's not anything that severe, though.
What I hope is if people experience that, they have people that they talk to about that, because typically, if you have a backboard, someone to knock these ideas back and forth with, you'll find out that there's probably flaws in your paranoia.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually being hunted.
Even paranoid people have enemies.
You never know.
Lunos, also from the Discord. Dear Hugo and Jake, what's the best way to help a conspiracy theorist? I recently had to work with someone who genuinely believes there's infinite free ethereal energy, but they, quotes, are keeping it secret. That humans have anti-gravity technology that, again, quote, they are keeping secret, and there's a group of rich banker types who hoarded the technology and went off into space. How do you help someone out of that delusional mindset? P.S. The same idiot thinks climate change is a hoax, that Snopes and PolitiFact are propaganda, and that InfoWars and Drudge Report are legitimate news sources.
I think this person might actually have real delusions.
Like, yeah.
But I do know people that, used to believe in this kind of stuff and don't. Although, specifically one of my friends, he does have actual anxiety. So it probably didn't help. Like usually there's some form, severe or otherwise, of mental illness in there when it comes to like a broad spectrum of conspiracies that they buy into. Or they just could be dumb. But I don't think that's the case with this person. I do like the idea of the they though. It's always a they.
It's always a they. We talked about this earlier. With we always find it comforting to think
it's out of your control.
Even if it's someone evil and against your interest, as long as someone's in charge, the world
chaos,
keeps spinning.
The chaos of the universe and the indifference towards its denizens is can be a lot. It can be. I don't feel that way. Like I don't know. Our existence to me is really interesting and miraculous in a way. Statistically miraculous, not actually miraculous. And so I find it more fascinating than scary. But I get why someone would think it was scary. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think
I've been in a place where I've been like, wow, I'm gonna die someday. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we all get there, but I don't think it's.
I think part of the conspiratorial mindset too is it creates a simple solution to the world's problems.
It also creates a simple narrative.
Yeah.
It creates a story narrative. Instead of this complex, we have a lot of machinations involved with different people in different groups colliding into each other and changing, and society is so weird.
I think people have a problem understanding that the world often operates on lots of multifaceted functioning systems.
Yeah.
Full of people.
And they're so fluid, too, in that. There's not a rigid sort of...
Right. People who are in situations and part of systems they don't even know they're a part in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because there's so much information going back and forth today and different interactions between businesses, people, politics.
Sure. Think about... okay, so just take voting, for example. Like, they say every vote counts. And they do count. Some just count more or less. And that's hard for people to understand because then it feels futile because of the numbers involved. Which is why when you see, a tragedy of like, thousands of people or something, like a bunch of plague victims, that doesn't feel as bad as when one schoolroom gets shut up.
Sure.
Because you can quantify. I can picture 10 people's faces. Mm-hmm. I can't picture 10,000 people's faces. So it's stuff like that. It's the size of these systems that is I don't know. It fucks with people's heads, and some people they have to go to this. Oh, it's the man. It's George Soros. There's got to be one face behind it or one banner. Or it can't be, you can't think about it because it's too much. So yeah, what that is really is, this person specifically that you're talking about probably fucked up in the head. Like I know specifically, we talked about this briefly on Twitter. And we didn't put it in an episode because that person was probably actually upset. But one person, and I'm not going to make fun of him, one person actually thinks that I have like a family and children.
Yeah.
And I understand why you could misinterpret that, but when I corrected him, I was like, I don't have these things. It was a girlfriend that had children, no longer with her. He's like, no, you're lying to me. And that's a delusion.
Yeah.
Because what do I have to gain by lying to you about that, right? So, and they said that you called her my wife, and it was never the case. But I get, I don't keep my personal life out there, so I understood initial confusion, but not the post-confusion. So it's stuff like that. Like, this guy's not going to listen to you. He's probably fucked up in the head. And honestly, compassion is the best way to deal with that, rather than sniping, I think.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this is a good time to bring up, too, people take advantage of people like this.
Yeah,
the Fox Newses, the Drudge
Reports.
The
brain force. And that's, by the way, that's why I hate Alex Jones more than anything, is because of the way he manipulates this shit.
Yeah, let me take, for example, my dad, who I don't talk to anymore, for good reason.
Yeah. I actually don't know if my dad's into this shit.
I don't
talk to him either.
90% certain he suffers from some form of OCD or anxiety disorder that he just does not care to admit to. And you can kind of tell, because an anxiety disorder, there's a feeling kind of deep in the pit of your stomach.
Sure.
All the time.
There's also like a breathing issue, right?
Yeah.
You get like a weight on your chest.
Yeah. So, instead of dealing with his issues, there are people out there like Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly
tap into it.
Who tap into that and say, "Oh, you're anxious and everything's confusing and hard. Let me give you an easy answer. Brown people, poor people, Mexicans."
Yeah.
And it's sad that shit happens, but you know,
it's a very effective message because a lot of people have undiagnosed mental illness, and mental illness has this stigma of like you're crazy. No, it just means like you have shit in your head that makes you think more severely or differently than other people, as far as a percentage is concerned. And so, by the way, this is not to say that everybody on the right has a mental illness. I don't want to say that. I'm just saying that people that go to the extremes of either side probably have, like, I can't imagine there's many like anti-vaxxers who are either intelligent and fine in the head. You know what I mean? Like, one of those has got to be gone.
They're certainly not scientifically literate.
That's what I mean. Like, one of those has to be gone.
Stay-at-home moms who do 5 minutes of Google research, find a shitty article.
Facebook is a bad problem.
Anti-vaxxing, that's actually a really good example of the same thing, too. It's so hard to admit. Sometimes kids just have autism. We don't know why. It's probably a genetic component. We don't know.
But moms don't want it to be their fault.
Right. So saying, "Oh, it's the doctors, it's the big pharma with their evil vaccinations."
Pharma.
It creates a target of that anger and that frustration. And the truth is, sometimes you're going to feel angry and frustrated, and there's no one to direct it to. And that's why you have to find healthy ways to deal with that. And if you can't, that's why you need to seek therapy, because they help you train and learn healthy coping mechanisms.
Yeah, just masturbate into a cardboard box.
That'll work too.
Yeah. It sorts me out.
Does your HMO cover that, or?
No. Boner.
And the last comment, this comes from
Jake
Reeds. Last Jake Reeds. Turkey herder, can I send you my gently used boy panties? Oh god, we already got one up here.
Yeah, we do. I prefer no more panties, but if you want to send us other stuff, there's a P.O. box. And we're going to do an unboxing soon. We got some stuff. I got one over here that says Fragile on it, and it's huge. And I don't know who it's from. Well, don't show any information.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was out of frame anyway, but yeah.
Oh, it's like an address of an LLC anyway.
Yeah. So, I don't know what's in that. So yeah, send us stuff to the P.O. Box if you like. It doesn't have to be anything, valuable or anything, but apparently that is.
Yeah.
Or it's just a portrait of our faces. I don't know how it works.
Texas wasn't this from Texas?
It might be this. It might be the same.
Maybe they sent us another thing.
Yeah, it could be. So, I guess I don't want your boy panties. That's our one.
That's the one.
Yeah, you'll never really.
There will never be two on the board at once. How about that?
Yeah, and that one has. I'm pretty attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Little Harold's in there, so. Yeah. If you have any fan art or anything, that's a very good thing to do as well. It's
on the Discord.
Yeah. Oh, and if you want to send food from your part of the world, if you think your particular community or country or wherever you're from has weird shit that you want to see us eat, go ahead and do that, and we do that on Unpop. So if you haven't seen that, there's videos.
Yeah, subscribe over there.
So that's it. That's all of them.
And Patreon if you want to help support the show.
Sure. Patreon is a very good way to support the show. Get us to see Ken Ham in person.
Yeah. So until next time, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake.
And this has been Jake Reads Your Comments on Hugo and Jake.
That seriously is very gray. It's weird. You wear a lot of gray. I wear a lot of Bob Ross, though. You just gotta...
I'm gonna see.
You gotta beat the...
I'm just gonna live in your house and you're not gonna know.
Beat the devil out of it. Yeah, you can stay there. You can stay there. Dude, I can't even see you on this camera. I can't even see you.